Welcome back. It is now time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have us all talking.
Today we are joined by Tracy Johnson from Tempo Milwaukee, and Jeff Wagner is back. Pope Benedict's decision to live in the Vatican after he resigns will provide him with security and privacy. It also offers legal protection from any attempt to prosecute him in connection to sexual abuse cases around the world, church sources and legal experts say. Now, should the Pope be prosecuted in relation to the Catholic Church's sex abuse scandal?
Only if you're nuts. I mean, he was sued back in 1995, and they ended up deciding there was immunity. Look, I understand that the Catholic Church has issues, but to try to say, we're going to try to go after this man as an individual at this stage of his life, I think it's only the most deranged and obsessed people that would suggest that that's a remedy. And candidly, I don't think his decision to stay in the Vatican has anything at all to do with the legalities.
No, and I mean, he made this decision citing that he was old. He can't deal with some of the critical issues that the church has before it. And I think he had enough wit and intelligence to realize that. But again, I look at, when did these crimes take place? They were before he was even at the head of the church, and he even admitted that he was allowing the local archdiocese to deal with this on their own, because in a lot of ways these were local issues.
But when he was a cardinal and he was in the hierarchy of the church, he was in a position to make decisions about these things long before he was pope.
So I guess we're not saying it didn't touch him, but the question is do you go after him? Or, I mean, there's so many people you could probably put on this type of a lawsuit.
Right, and see, in the litigation against him, apparently, like I say, back in the mid-'90s, somebody says that, well, he should have known about a particular pedophile priest or whatever. But, I mean, the truth is, I think they got to figure out a way to move forward past this, and the idea of trying to single out the Pope for particular litigation, like I say, at this stage in this man's life, I think it's time for everybody to move on.
Well, and there is no rule book for what do you do when a pope retires. I mean, this hasn't happened in 600 years. So I guess offering that protection, I guess it only comes with his retirement, so to speak.
And their concern was, I mean, what he was talking about doing at first is maybe returning to Germany and living in a monastery. And I think their concern was, okay, this is going to, not litigation, but is this going to be a site where people are going to be making pilgrimages or whatever? Candidly, I think the idea to stay at the Vatican for a lot of reasons makes a lot of sense.
All right, coming up next, should MPS teachers have to live in the city of Milwaukee? We've been talking about this for a couple of years. Could it be changing? We're joined by Tracy Johnson from Tempo Milwaukee and Jeff Wagner from News Radio 620 WTMJ. Jay. Gotta remember the call letters here, Steve. A man on a plane accused of uttering a racial slur and slapping another passenger's crying toddler. He's been fired in the wake of this alleged incident. The incident has received national attention. Should he have been fired over his bad behavior on the plane?
And he lost his job once his company found out what happened.
I mean, I think this behavior is absolutely horrid, heinous, I mean, whatever you want to call it. But I struggle with how that ties to his job, unless he was maybe the face of the organization or if there were some sort of personal conduct code in his contract. But it doesn't appear that that was the case. I understand the statement by the company said that it doesn't align with their vision and all of that. But I find it difficult to see how it ties to his job.
You know, I guess I have less of a concern with that and more of a concern with due process. Now, the guy's been charged with this. He, through his attorney, denies that this happened. Says, look, this is a complete and total fabrication. Now, in all honesty, I mean, my smell detector says he probably did it. My guess is he was boozing it up. You've got the kid next to him that starts crying, and then he reacts.
We got a ton of people. I mean, people on the plane saw it.
At least one other witness. Well, at least one other witness. But again, if it's determined that he did this, I have no trouble with firing him. I guess I do, though, say, okay, this happened. I mean, these complaints were supposedly made on Friday. Doesn't sound like to me that the company did this thorough investigation. I would have suspended him, wait till this all plays out, and then fired him if determined that he did.
I don't know if I can comment on this, because I think I'm coming from an emotional place as a mother, which is, I don't care what happens to him. If you do something like that heinous, things are going to fall into line, and there are going to be repercussions. So that's one of them. Sorry.
Well, he's charged with a crime. He's got to pay a fine, I'm sure. But I just say, I think for me, I don't know where you draw the line between what you do on your personal time, whether it's good or bad.
So even if he is found guilty in all of this, then would the company's decision make more sense, or do you
Well,
still feel there's a separation
Well,
there?
I do, because I think at that point in time, he ends up being he ends up being, he's associated, he's an executive with the company. It's kind of like, if any of us, Courtney or Steve, if we go out and do something, even though it's on our own time, but it reflects badly on the company, we're gone.
Has the
Right.
company possibly opened itself up to a lawsuit here? Jeff?
I don't think so. He wasn't on a business trip. I just think it's the bad PR
No,
thing.
no. Could he sue the company for wrongful termination?
Maybe. But again, that presupposes that he's being wrongfully accused. And I don't think at the end of the day that's going to be the case. But if he was being wrongfully accused, yeah, I think he's got a claim, potentially. But I don't think that's what's going to play out and happen.
Okay, we got up such a head of steam on topic number 2. We're going to save topic number 3 for another day. Thank you both. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.